quite oppressive in many ways for any women who were going there. And it's really key what you say there, because I think sometimes when you think male ally, you automatically, the semantics suggest that actually it's men pulling women up and helping them out like that, and that's actually not what it is. It's mutually beneficial. I've got amazing male allies in my career, in my personal life as well, and it's reciprocal for sure. Another question for you, Troy. We hear the phrase intersectionality quite a lot. You're smiling already. Can you explain exactly what it means and what the particular challenges facing black and brown women in football are?
I can explain what it means. It's from my perspective, because it will mean something different probably to everybody in this room. We all have an identity. I don't think what we appreciate is we all have multifacets to that identity. And that's where intersectionality comes from, because, you know, yes, I'm a black man if I identify myself. My parents are from the West Indies. My grandparents were shipped to Scotland, so I have identity in Scotland as well, you know, so I have Scottish blood in me. It's not obvious, but it is. But if we then align that to the protected characteristics, I have a disability because of my hip. So all of a sudden, I'm touching many, many touch points in those areas that actually then enable me, unfortunately, to receive the kind of abuse that I try and talk about all the time. So I could be because I'm black, I could be because I'm Scottish, and people will have a look at me and laugh at me and want to think, well, how can this black guy be Scottish? And it could be because I have a disability. So it's the components of who we are. It makes up who we are. And I think we've got to realise a lot more that we have this multifaceted identity as well, the combination of what all that may be, to realise that many of us, most of us, all of us, don't just sit in one box. I don't want to put anyone in a box, by the way, but just, we don't all sit in one box. We have these shared characteristics. And unfortunately in my field, like I say, those shared characteristics open you up to a little bit more abuse. The black and brown conversation is one I could keep you going all day if you want, and I'll stay past 1:15 if you want me to for that. Opportunities have been created. There's no denying that. You look on our screens, you look in various areas of our industry, particularly, let me talk from the male side of the point of view, because that's where I'm in, and I see opportunities. But people of colour, and I'll say this now, particularly dark-skinned black people, there still seems to be this barrier, this obstacle, this almost like, and I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth, I'll say it, it's almost like you're too dark to be the person on the screen. You're not the kind of fit that we want to see parading in our environment. And I say that with confidence because that's what people speak to me about. So a lighter shade is acceptable. A darker shade is going to have to work that little bit harder again to potentially receive the opportunity that everyone else is getting, no matter how skilled that woman would be. Now, that is a lot to unpick for anybody in a room today, but it's something that's been highlighted more and more and more. And so there's another barrier now we need to break down. This is amazing, by the way. And the growth of women in football over the years that I've been involved. I remember going to an event probably about 6 years ago in a small room, 30 people. Now look, you're filling conference halls, and there's so many amazing people connected to the organisation. And I would say that there's another step to go, and there's another step to go. And that identification of why various identities of females are still being almost like pushed to the back of the queue for opportunities. I'm not a politician. I don't like to be a politician. I don't pronounce to be a politician. But we've seen it with Ukraine, and we've seen it when black people are trying to escape the atrocity that's going on there, where they're kind of pitched. I told you I could talk about this topic, didn't I?
Yeah, we're happy to listen.
But yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts. We have another stage to go in that open door process of allowing women to come into the industry. The great role models that there are already in the industry, by the way. I mean, Eni Aluku was mentioned from the outset on the main stage, and yes, Eni is one of a number of women who have progressed their careers and have done so well and is now out in America. But how many women look like Eni that have been part of that journey as well, or have that journey up there? So yeah, that's kind of what I say. I say that there's another stage to go for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. And